let's transition a little bit over, and we'll just quickly talk about AEW and what's going on there. Did you watch Dynamite this week?
Yeah.
Anything from Dynamite stick out to you? It was a tape show. Kenny Omega didn't show up with the title. He was on the show, but he didn't have the Impact title. Anything else? The Nightmare family took on the Family.
The Factory.
The Factory, that's what it is. Yeah, the Factory. I really like that. I like what's his name? Camacho? What's his name? Camacho?
Camarado.
Nick Camarado. Yeah, I like that he has tassels. Although they're a little bit too long, he needs to have them maybe 3/4 of what they are. They look a little too long on him. But he looks awesome. I thought it was good. What's the boxer guy? Agogo came in and like he got in the match and he hit someone in the gut.
Two guys.
Yeah, the second guy didn't need to get hit in the gut. That was a little too much for me.
No, I think they were doing pretty good. It was the angle afterwards. I was like, because I'm like, as he's walking away and the camera's just hanging on him and stuff. I go, oh, clearly Cody's coming back.
Yeah.
So they did the big angle, which again, they rushed these things. Cody got destroyed.
The brawl was good.
They went on the bus.
Yeah, I was all for the brawl.
Why is Aubrey on the bus?
Yeah, that she should. Why did she climb up the bus? That shouldn't have happened. No.
I'm like, what does the referee got to be up on the bus for?
Yeah.
But I get why they did it because they want to have some more steam going into that Blood and Guts show. But I think you could have drugged this out quite a bit longer. Because I think you're just starting to get to know the Factory.
Yeah.
And now it's like, they rush their blood feuds. I know like we're in ADHD nation with watching TV these days, but man, I really think they could have got a little more mileage out of that. But I like the Camarado guy too. He's got a cool look. Like he's just he's a monster. And QT is a good smarmy heel.
I love QT.
I don't think we've seen all what we can see with him yet. And yeah, that was good. I mean, they basically in that match they were trying to highlight that group and Lee Johnson, and then Dustin and Billy Gunn just kind of filled in the gaps in that match. It was, for what it was pretty good. And then Cody's back, so obviously we're heading to Blood and Guts for that match. I don't quite know what to expect on that. I imagine it'll be good. So I think you could have got a little more out of that. But I was good with the match. I agree with you. I think it was pretty good. I don't know if this Agogo guy is ever gonna do anything else. he's
probably really green, right?
I think he did one match where he
did
that kidney shot. Yeah.
Yeah, last week on Impact, I think it was.
It was.
Or not Impact, Dynamite.
It was a couple weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
The first match was Page versus Cage. Page versus Cage.
Yeah, Brian Cage got a clean win.
Yeah, so I will say this, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. Excalibur did a good save at the end of the match. Because he said, I wonder what the match would have looked like if Brian Cage didn't powerbomb Adam Page on the steps in the beginning of the match. Which I would agree with that if they weren't going 50-50 in the match. But I did like that line because it does put in a little bit of doubt because Adam Page has been beating everybody on the show. And now Brian Cage is he beat the number one contender in the singles ranks. So does that actually bump him up to the top spot? So I think that's the story they were trying to tell there. Which is weird at the same time because they teased Brian Cage turning on Taz and now he's full heel again with Taz. I don't know. But Anyway, pretty good. I mean, it does kind of make you think, like, are they going to really push Cage for a title match against Omega?
Yeah. I don't know. They kind of dropped the FTW title too, eh?
Well, they mentioned it on the show because I was thinking the same thing because I haven't heard or seen anything about because that. Let's be honest, that's been a flop. Like, I don't even know why they did that on the show originally.
Yeah, I don't. It feels like it just kind of went nowhere.
It's the wrong to me, and I'm not disrespecting Brian Cage, but that's the wrong guy to do that gimmick with. Just
Yeah.
he doesn't fit that kind of attitude. Like if it was like an Eddie Kingston or something, yes,
Eddie Kingston or John Moxley, even.
right. Guys that have attitude,
Yeah.
that walk on air, that they're the toughest guy in the room. Like, so I don't know. I'm not big on that either.
We had the Young Bucks taking on the Seidel brothers. I don't
I
want to talk too much about it. I have nothing much about it. It was your typical match that you would figure. Like it was a lot of high spots. It's pretty good and all
I'll
that. Like,
say
if you
I'll
like
say
that kind
one
of stuff.
I'll say one thing on that. Young Bucks to me have the same match over and over again, but it's Matt Seidel is a special talent
Oh my god.
in the sense that he can do everything. I think I'm not gonna say ever push him to the
You're
top.
about to do this podcast alone.
Why you don't agree?
I mean, he was like at one point, but I don't know. I just
I'm
think
just
like he does the same. He's been doing the same thing for last, 15 years.
let, let me just say this. I'm not saying he's like a main event guy. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying because I've seen him in the last few weeks wrestle Omega and now the Bucks and get more out of them than other people do. That's what I meant by that.
When
Because
was the last time you got your glasses inspected? He
That's
was
just how
excellent. He was excellent when he was Evan Bourne, but like he hasn't really impressed me too much since then.
I think he sells well, and that's what he's been used for is making people look better than they are. That's how I view him.
Got you. Okay, I can agree with that.
That's what I mean. Like you don't have to. They're probably and maybe I'm wrong. Like maybe he wants the team with his brother, but I think his big singles days are probably behind him, and that's why he's in that tag team. He
All
can be an
right.
occasional signals guy. Anyway, we can continue
Next
on.
we have Orange Cassidy and Penta L0M, which Orange Cassidy got the win.
Yeah, I don't really have anything. I
It was a pretty good match. It was fun and all that, but like I mean, yeah, it was
I just let me say this. I think the problem because I'm not gonna bag on Orange Cassidy. I know he's got an over gimmick with um, that fan base, but I think the problem with him is he should be like a special attraction because once you've seen his match, you've seen his match, and I've seen him on TV a lot wrestling, and Penta, I take him as more of a serious wrestler. Like,
yeah. I
you know,
mean, very serious. What did you think of that arm drag where Orange Cassidy had his hands in his pockets?
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. I guess that just tells you. All right. Next, we had the Inner Circle and the Pin. I'm not going to go through every single segment, but
Yeah, I know.
these are the
Just the
key things.
pertinent ones.
Yeah. Inner Circle and Pinnacle. They had like the face off or whatever. I mean, it was good. It's just to put over the blood and guts match. I don't really have much to say. Like it was entertaining enough. I thought they did a pretty good job of that. Uh, yeah,
I did. I think. I think they did a good job hyping the match. There's only one thing I didn't like in it, and I have never said this before. I really questioned the stuff Dax was saying on the mic because he basically told Santana Ortiz that their kid's dad's not coming home or something like that. And the only reason I wasn't big on that is because they built this whole thing on Dynamite about Brody Lee and his son. So I thought that was a little much for me. I get it on a regular show. I've seen Brody Lee's kid on this show almost every week, and now they're saying that someone else's kid's dad's not coming home. So I was kind of like, I understand it, but I'm like, I don't know if I would have quite went there. Other than that, I thought it was pretty good. I just think my only thing with this feud, I don't know, like, and we talked about it when it happened. Like, the Pinnacle does the beatdown with them, and then Inner Circle already beat them up and got the revenge. So we're just gonna have a match for a match. I just MJF, I wish hadn't gotten beaten up already because he could have been bragging about that this whole time. But he's so good that he takes things, even crap on this show. MJF has a way of still getting himself over. But the other thing too, it's always like Jericho always has these things on with the Inner Circle where they're gonna do all these wacky things in the ring, where they have like their war room in the ring, and now they have the parlay in the ring. So it's like, I think they did a good enough job with it. That was probably Jericho's best promo in a long time in the ring. So this is going to be an ambitious match. So I am curious to see what they're going to do, because I imagine they're going to get a long time in that match.
And then we had the main event of Darby Allin defending his TNT championship against 10 from the Dark Order. This was a pretty good match. It was a pretty long match too. I enjoyed it.
You know, it was good. I think the thing that drives me nuts on AEW, so when 10 comes out, they talk about how he's on this big winning streak. But I don't have time to watch these YouTube shows. so I would never know this. And I know that they put that out there. I would just like to see some packages of him beating guys before we get to this match. Maybe the week before. That way they have so much programming, and a lot of their win streaks happen on shows that aren't Dynamite. So I haven't seen a lot of 10. I think the last time I seen him wrestle was the Brody Lee Memorial Show.
Yeah.
But it was good. You're right. It was good. They had the angle after the match with Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky.
Yes.
You know, remember when Ethan Page came into the company and you were putting him over, and I said he's not a singles wrestler? They've already put him in a tag team. I think they're buying time to get Josh Alexander.
Yeah.
I think so. Just he works well with the teammate because he's a mic guy. He's a charisma guy. That's how I view him.
Yeah.
But him and Darby had a big indie feud, so I think they're gearing up towards revisiting that, because they feuded in like Evolve and stuff and had like hardcore matches and all this. We'll see. It wasn't a bad show. I noticed how you skipped over the Omega and Kingston Moxley knock stuff.
Yeah.
It's
just we talked enough about Kenny Omega and that.
Yeah,
so.
I prefer not to. So it was. Yeah. Anyway, we can move on.